What happens when two powerhouse singers clash over creative control and artistic integrity on live television? The answer is more explosive than you might imagine. The Kelly Clarkson Show was buzzing with its usual bright, electric energy. The studio audience packed the seats with excitement, many whispering eagerly about the legendary guests scheduled to appear. Patti LaBelle, known worldwide as the godmother of soul, was about to step on stage. Viewers expected a warm conversation, nostalgic stories, and maybe even a dazzling duet between two of the strongest voices in the industry. Kelly bounced onto the stage in a radiant yellow dress that matched the upbeat rhythm of her show. She greeted the audience with her trademark Oklahoma charm, announcing Patti's arrival with heartfelt admiration. When Patti appeared, she looked regal in a shimmering emerald gown that reflected her decades of artistry and experience. Everything seemed perfect until the topic of collaboration came up. Kelly, eager and enthusiastic, revealed that her producers had created a modern arrangement of Patti's classic Lady Marmalade. The twist? Contemporary beats, auto-tune elements, and simplified vocal runs. Kelly pitched it as an exciting passing of the torch moment. But Patti's expression changed. She repeated Kelly's words slowly. Simplified vocal runs and auto-tune. There was a shift in the room. Subtle but powerful. The audience remained cheerful, unaware of the tension building between two musical titans. Patti began questioning what modernizing the song really meant. Kelly defended the idea by explaining that today's audiences preferred a polished sound. But Patti pushed back, her voice firm yet calm. She explained that Lady Marmalade wasn't just a song. It was an experience. A story layered with emotion, pain, and triumph. Those intricate vocal runs Kelly wanted to simplify, they weren't just decorations. They were the song's soul. The studio air thickened as Kelly tried to balance respect with her creative vision. She argued that music must evolve, that modern listeners connect more easily with updated production styles. Patti countered with decades of artistry behind her, insisting that evolution should enhance music, not dilute it. This wasn't collaboration, it was a clash of philosophies. The tension was now undeniable. What began as a friendly conversation had become a deep, emotional debate on the essence of music itself, and neither woman was willing to back down. The silent tension in the studio grew heavier as Patti LaBelle straightened her posture, her eyes sharpening with an unmistakable fire. She reminded Kelly that Lady Marmalade wasn't simply a performance piece, it was a creation, born from lived experience. Every riff, every growl, every trembling rise in her voice carried meaning. These weren't technical embellishments, they were emotional fingerprints. Kelly, feeling the weight of the cameras and the audience, tried to keep her composure. She explained that her intention wasn't disrespect. She simply believed that modern arrangements helped bring classic music to a younger audience. Her team, she insisted, had worked tirelessly on the new arrangement, believing Patti would be excited to reinvent the song for contemporary listeners. But Patti saw it differently. Her decades in the industry had taught her to recognize the slippery slope between innovation and erasure. She questioned whether stripping a song down to fit modern trends was truly a form of artistic evolution, or if it was a slow chipping away of the original message. She asked Kelly whether music needed to be diluted to be appreciated, whether today's audiences were really incapable of understanding complexity. Kelly pushed back passionately. She argued that the entertainment landscape had changed, that listeners today gravitated toward polished, accessible soundscapes. She insisted that she wasn't diminishing the original soul of the song, just adapting it for a generation raised on digital production and streaming platforms. Patti's response was swift and sharp. She reminded Kelly that music had always been a universal language, one that transcended trends. Auto-tune, she argued, was an evolution, it was a crutch. Simplifying the emotional runs wasn't updating, it was watering down. Patti questioned whether Kelly had forgotten the roots of soul music, or the history embedded in songs created during times of struggle. The studio audience watched in uneasy silence. Had they just witnessed a disagreement between two artists? Or were they witnessing a generational conflict over authenticity, representation, and respect? Kelly then defended her own career, reminding Patti that she had also fought to maintain her artistic identity. She had won awards, earned a loyal fan base, and built a successful show by connecting deeply with her audience. She insisted that she knew how to reach listeners in today's world. Patti didn't argue with Kelly's success, but she questioned her understanding of legacy. Authenticity wasn't just how a song sounded. Patti explained, it was the story behind it, the struggle that shaped it. Kelly's frustration finally broke through the thin layer of professionalism she had been clinging to. She stood abruptly, pacing behind her desk, her hands gesturing in frustration. She explained that she, too, had endured hardships, poverty, grueling jobs, industry pressure. She insisted that she had earned her place, and that her modern interpretation of Lady Marmalade wasn't disrespect, it was her own artistic truth. Patti listened, her eyes narrowing not in anger, but in disbelief. She questioned whether Kelly truly understood what she was asking. This wasn't about Kelly's struggles. It wasn't even about their differences as artists. It was about respect for the roots of a song that represented the experiences of women, particularly Black women, whose voices had been stifled and overlooked for generations. The accusation struck Kelly deeply. She fired back by accusing Patti of gatekeeping, suggesting that Patti believed only certain artists had the right to reinterpret certain songs. The word hung in the air like smoke, dangerous, provocative, and impossible to ignore. Patti's expression changed instantly. Her voice dropped to a near whisper, but the studio felt the impact like a thunderclap. She had spent her entire life fighting for the freedom of marginalized artists. She said she had opened doors, mentored countless young performers, and championed authenticity across every stage she touched. She wasn't gatekeeping. She was protecting something sacred. Kelly tried to respond, but her voice wavered. The audience could see the conflict unfolding not just as an argument, but as an ideological clash. Two women from different eras, different experiences, and different artistic worlds meeting at the crossroads of creativity and legacy. Patti insisted she wasn't attacking Kelly's art. She was defending her own. What Kelly saw as modernization, she saw as erasure masked as innovation. What Kelly called accessibility, she perceived as dilution. And what Kelly offered as collaboration felt, to her, like appropriation wrapped in polite show business language. For Kelly, this was a blindside. She had envisioned a celebratory moment, a symbolic passing of the torch. Instead, she felt accused, misunderstood, and increasingly cornered. And Patti? She stood rooted in her truth, unwilling to allow her history, and the history of countless others, to be repackaged for convenience. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. They'd never seen Kelly this shaken, and they'd never seen Patti so fiercely protective. The air in the studio had grown so heavy that even the audience seemed afraid to breathe. Patti and Kelly now stood face to face, their voices no longer raised but sharpened with raw emotion. Kelly insisted she never meant to erase anything. Her intention had been collaboration, a blend of old and new, a celebration of their shared love for music. She emphasized that millions watched her show, and she truly believed the performance would reintroduce Patti's song to an entirely new audience. To her, that was respect. But Patti shook her head with quiet disappointment. What Kelly called collaboration wasn't collaboration at all, it was presentation. A pre-packaged vision created by a production team, handed to her with the expectation that she would smile and approve. That wasn't partnership. That was tokenism dressed as teamwork. Kelly tried to argue that this was just how modern entertainment worked. Teams, producers, managers, industry structures. But Patti challenged that idea. When had music become so corporate that artists themselves became secondary to strategy, meetings, and audience analytics? When had creative decisions been handed over to algorithms and focus groups? Kelly's voice softened, but the strain remained. She argued that the business side mattered. People couldn't appreciate soulful, legacy-rich music if they never heard it. And modern production helped get those songs into the ears of people who might otherwise never discover them. Patti responded with a devastating calm. But what version are they discovering? A version stripped of its complexity, filtered through trends, altered to fit what executives believe audiences want. Was that really honoring the legacy? Or was it reshaping truth to fit convenience? She explained that some music didn't need to be modernized. It needed to be felt. Greatness didn't require reformatting. It required listening. Kelly felt her throat tighten. She had built a career on authenticity, on connecting with real people. Hearing Patti accuse her of diluting greatness struck her. Somewhere deep and painful. She stepped closer, her voice trembling with emotion. She insisted that she loved Patti's music, that she valued her legacy, that she only wanted to create something meaningful together. But Patti had already picked up her purse. Her decision was final. She explained softly, but firmly, that she couldn't stay on a stage where her artistic integrity would be compromised. She respected Kelly, but she would not allow her music to be reshaped into something unrecognizable. Not for ratings, not for trends, not for anyone. Kelly's voice cracked as she begged for another chance to talk it through. But Patti walked toward the exit, regal even in disappointment. The audience sat frozen as history unfolded before them.